Hey guys, what's going on? I am doing a movie review today of Oblivion, starring Tom Cruise. I just got back from seeing this movie a little while ago. I was planning on seeing it last week, but it didn't happen, so I saw it today. It was pretty good. I saw the trailer for it again like last week, and I was looking forward to it. It was a good movie. It's been quite a while since Tom Cruise did anything that was really good. I feel like over the years his career has become kind of stagnant, and the quality of movies that he's done has kind of dropped off, um, which is kind of too bad. He used to do a lot of good movies, and now he doesn't really do much at all. But the movie was pretty good. It is a sci-fi movie, so if you're not a fan of sci-fi, you may not like it. However, it is a pretty good movie. It's also post-apocalyptic, so if that interests you, then you may be interested in it for that reason as well. I like sci-fi and I like post-apocalyptic themed movies, so the movie was awesome to me. Well, for those reasons anyway. But um, there was some problems with the movie. I definitely think it's worth watching. You know, it's worth the $7 that it costs to see the movie. Um, and I'll talk about some of the problems I had with it later. Sadly, most of them are spoilers, but I will warn you beforehand so I won't ruin anything. And then after you've seen the movie, if you want to come back and discuss it because you're in rage mode or you know you just I don't know want to have a discussion about it, you can come back here and we can talk about it here. But anyway, Tom Cruise plays a character named Jack Harper, and basically, brief synopsis is he is stationed on Earth, post-apocalyptic, and he is in charge of maintenance of these drones. And what these drones do are basically they guard these giant machines that are converting the salt water in the oceans, what's left of the oceans, into energy. And uh, basically what happened was aliens attacked Earth. Earth used nukes. Earth was basically destroyed. So Earth moved to one of Saturn's moons, and Jack is stationed on here for so long or whatever, and then he is taken back to a space station called Titan, where he is then going to be sent off to Saturn's moon, where all the other survivors are at, or that's what he's told anyway. This doesn't happen in the course of the movie, just to be clear. Um, so, uh, that's the basic premise of the movie. He finds out, well, at the beginning, he starts having these dreams or whatever, and he's not sure what they are. They feel like memories to him, and before he started the mission, his memory was erased, basically to protect humanity, so no information would get leaked out if he was captured or whatever. So he's got these fragments or these dreams or whatever that he's not sure if they're real or if they're fake or whatever, and yeah, so he's dealing with that throughout the course of the movie, and it unfolds, and things aren't quite as they seem, and it's about as far as I can go without spoiling anything. So definitely worth checking out. If you feel like seeing something in the theaters, then by all means, go see it. So now I'm going to get into some of the spoilers for people who've already seen it and are watching this review by chance. So if you don't want to be spoiled, pause the video now or hit the X button or whatever. So yeah, forewarned. So, Jack Harper. Basically, what's really happening in this movie is Jack was part of a NASA mission to go check out this alien object that showed up outside of the atmosphere, shortly outside of Earth. And so they're going to check this thing out. It's him, his wife, a bunch of other people, and this other woman that's with him. Everybody is in a hibernation state inside these casket-looking things in the back of the ship, except for him and another woman that's, I guess, his co-pilot. So he's getting close to this thing. It opens up, and he basically gets pulled into it. He tries to, escape. It's like a tractor beam or whatever. He can't escape, so he ejects the back of the ship, which is basically supposed to go into orbit and, re-enter Earth. So it's just him and this woman now, his co-pilot, and they get pulled in, and that's basically where it cuts. And throughout the movie, basically, it's becomes evident that when him and this woman entered the ship, they were taken captive, they were cloned, and their memories were erased. So what the aliens did was, one, they blew up the moon. Two, Earth fought back. Earth was destroyed. The aliens that are on the planet supposedly turn out to be survivors that are fighting back. And these clones of Jack Harper and this woman are sent down. She's the assistant. She works inside the base and basically monitors him, talks to Command, which is basically disguised as the woman who is in command of the NASA mission. And so the entire time they're really working for the aliens who are trying to steal all the resources that are left on Earth. And throughout the movie, Jack's got these memories or whatever, and he's really sentimental about Earth. He doesn't want to leave. He feels like he shouldn't have to leave. Earth supposedly won, and they should get to stay. And the woman, she doesn't feel the same. She just wants to follow orders. She wants to go to Titan, this, fictional space station, and then go off to Saturn and be with all the other survivors. And, as it unfolds and as Jack Harper is figuring out what's going on, he tries to convince her. She's not convinced. She ends up getting killed. And then he basically, geez, I'm getting out of order here. Before she gets killed, he recovers his wife. The survivors sent out this beacon to bring the back of the ship that was ejected 60 years beforehand back down to Earth. And then the drones are sent out to go and inspect, and he goes against the command center, and he finds her, he finds these other humans, and the drones basically come in and are murdering all of them, even though they're still in hibernation. They're not even woken up. They're just killing them all. He saves his wife. He goes back. The woman that is working at the command or at the base, she's not happy about it. She thinks that they should report her, get rid of her, whatever. He doesn't want to. Later on she gets killed, obviously, and then he teams up with the survivors that basically want to destroy this alien ship that is controlling them. And so their plan is to take a drone and the core that is inside the drones, send it up there and detonate it, because these cores are, as powerful as a nuke or something comparable. And that drone gets destroyed when other drones are sent in, and basically a bunch of survivors get killed. Their drone gets destroyed. So they don't really have a ton of options anymore. And so basically, Morgan Freeman, he plays one of the survivors. What they come up with is they're going to martyr themselves and basically ride the core up there themselves and detonate it inside the space station. So Tom Cruise and his wife in the movie ride up to this thing and enter it, and when he opens the casket that's supposed to have his wife in it, Morgan Freeman pops up, and they detonate it. And basically, Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman are martyred for the sake of what's left of humanity. Now, on to the problems with the ending of the movie. Uh, when it goes back to his wife, basically she ended up being impregnated and had a child, and it's been a few years, and the band of survivors, basically shows up at this makeshift house that Jack Harper, the original one that we'd been watching throughout the entire movie, had built this makeshift house or whatever, filled it with all these relics, from the past, and that was basically like his little paradise. Well, she's living there now with his child, and the survivors show up with this other clone, who the original Jack Harper had a skirmish with. This was the only clone that he came in contact with close up. And he basically had a fight with him, and he tied him up, took his ship, and left him. So when this other Jack Harper shows up at this cabin, it's basically narrating, and Jack Harper says, I knew that the other Jack Harper would build this house here because I know Jack Harper and I am Jack Harper. And it insinuates that basically he is the same as the other Jack Harper. There's a couple problems with that. One, Morgan Freeman, earlier in the movie, when talking to Tom Cruise, basically said that all these other clones and these Jack Harpers are basically killing machines. They're nothing but maintenance men. They don't think the same way that he does, and that's why they chose him. And he's supposed to be the exception out of all the clones. So when they bring this other Jack Harper in that's supposedly supposed to be the same as him, it throws a little, it throws some holes in that whole statement, basically. And, I don't have a huge problem with them doing that, but one of the things that you have to take into account is that there are thousands of these Jack Harpers all over the planet, basically doing the exact same thing. So if this Jack Harper is the same as the other Jack Harper, it insinuates that all the Jack Harpers are the same, or that this Jack Harper is also an exception, which doesn't make any sense and basically takes away from the character that you've been watching the entire movie. Especially since there's no character development or anything with this other Jack Harper. He just shows up and says, hey, I'm the same as the other guy, too. And so, if this is true and all these other Jack Harpers basically have, the same principles and the same ideologies and think the same way, then this lady's going to have thousands of Jack Harpers show up at her house, all thinking that, she's his wife, and that, that's just weird. That's just awkward. Like, how are you gonna do that? Like, I mean, you're gonna have like 1,000 of these guys show up at her house, like wanting to, have a relationship with this lady. That's just weird. And I guess one of the theories, one of the ways that I thought about it in order to have some closure to the film without thinking about it nonstop was that this Jack Harper, this second one, he came in contact with the original Jack Harper and his wife, and they had this little skirmish or whatever, and that could have brought back some memories, and, that could have changed him at that point. And then he was without a ship, so he's stranded in the middle of nowhere, and all these other Jack Harpers have their ships, have their bases or whatever, so Mission Control could have issued an order to destroy all these other Jack Harpers before the ship was blown up, or, in order to salvage the integrity of their mission and then just start over. So he could potentially be the only Jack Harper left. But that leaves a lot to the imagination. Like, that's a lot that you have to come up with on your own. And, some open endings are fine like that. Like Inception was an awesome movie. The ending was perfectly fine to me. I like movies that make you think and leave you with something to talk about after it's over. But this one just didn't seem like it was done the right way to me. Now, I really liked the movie, like the production value and the visuals. Everything was awesome. The plot was pretty good, and really my only complaint is the ending. I feel like if you're gonna martyr somebody in a movie, they should be martyred. I don't feel like you should kill them and then bring them back or replace them with someone else who's supposedly the same person. It just doesn't make any sense, and it kind of kills off, you know, the integrity of the character that you're watching the whole movie. It just destroys it. It makes it pointless. Like, it basically feels like the entire movie, all the acts of this single Jack Harper are basically pointless. Um, and he's just going to be replaced by some other random guy. And that just seems silly to me. Like, if your husband, well, technically he's not her husband, he is a clone, but, she accepts him as her husband. And, he remembers, everything that the original Jack Harper remembers, throughout the movie. And it just seems wrong to me to basically have this guy who's sacrificing himself for the planet, for his wife, you know, in order to save them, and then you kill him off and he's just replaced with another one. That's just stupid to me. Um, it's just dumb. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. But that's basically my main complaint with it. So if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think. If you haven't seen it and you just felt like being spoiled anyway, still a good movie, still worth watching. I'd even buy it, especially for the special features because the visuals were just that amazing. And, just for some of the behind the scenes stuff, maybe some explanation of what happened at the end of the movie, possibly alternate ending. I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, if you go see it, come back to this video and let me know what you think after you've seen it. So, yeah.